stand with you against Obamacare. I'm proud to stand against the funding, and I want to remind you that we were here almost 4 years ago when we first began doing battle against this lousy piece of legislation. It was unconstitutional then. It's unconstitutional now. The decision that was made by the Supreme Court didn't change that. And tens of thousands of you came here to do battle. This Capitol building was surrounded by American patriots. Who was here on that day when we surrounded this Capitol? Yeah. I will never forget it. I'll never forget your faces either. We've got to come and do battle constantly. Now back then, we brought this legislation. I wrote an amendment, and I offered it on February 15th, the day after Valentine's Day, 2011, that cut off all the funding to implement or enforce Obamacare. That's what we need to do now. And we can't allow a rule to be written that will allow the drug to get jerked out from underneath us. We've got to defund it now. Of all that we have done to kill Obamacare, they passed it by legislative shenanigan and by hook and by crook. It never was the will of the American people. It's always been the will of the American people to repeal it and to defund it. The tool we now have in our toolbox is to cut off all funding to implement or enforce Obamacare and do it before it starts to get implemented formally on October 1st. That means now. And the president has no constitutional authority to grant a waiver to anybody. He took an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States, and he has defied his own oath of office multiple times. And in fact, he's done so with Obamacare multiple times. So let's hold him to his oath. Let's cut off all funding on Obamacare. Let's vote down anything that funds Obamacare. Let's vote down anything that implements it. Let's vote down anything that enforces Obamacare. And let's give the American people what they demand. We demand our constitutional rights and our God-given liberty, and we demand our freedom back. God bless you. Let's continue this fight. We can't blink in the face of a little bit of adversity. Thank you all very much.
Our next speaker has been here and has called us to D.C. before, and we've stood with her and we've fought with her. You know, when I'm having a tough day, especially when I'm here in D.C., it's very easy to have tough days because there's such jerks in there. This is what I tell myself and the ladies on our team. I say, don't fight like John Boehner, who'll cry at the drop of a hat. Fight like a girl. Fight like the woman with a titanium steel, Michelle Bachmann. Thank you for fighting for our freedom. I thank you for fighting for our freedom. For 4 years, you have fought valiantly. I believe this is the week when we're going to see the positive change by saying no to the Republicans, by saying no to the Democrats, and I think this is when we make our stand this week. I just got back last night from going to the Middle East. On the way back, we had gone through Belgium. I want to tell you about one of the most pivotal changes in American history in the last 70 years. It was this. It was a general in Bastogne in Belgium. It was called the Battle of the Bulge. This was one of the most decisive victories that changed the course of history, and it's why it's relevant to us today.
That's why we're here.
All of a sudden, it was December, and the American army found themselves virtually surrounded in a 360 circle by the Nazis. Hitler saw this is it. He could cut us off, and then he'd have the advantage forever. So he sent a note in to the general, His name was Tony McAuliffe. Great American guy. And Hitler said, now's your time, General. Now you surrender. I want you to know what Tony McAuliffe, who had nothing going for him. Nothing except for the American spirit and the American soldier that was in Bastogne, surrounded like caged animals. He said a one-word response to Hitler, and it was this. He said, nuts! He said, nuts! And that's what and as a result of that, they paid a price, unlike any other price that has been paid other than in the Civil War. That price came at the cost of 76,890 lives that were killed, wounded, or missing in World War II. It brings you to weep when you think of those who purchased for us today. That blood drenched the soil of Europe. Today we look at this building, and today we say to Republicans, to Democrats, to striped zebras, I don't care who these people are, we say to them, nuts! Because we're looking to the future. We're looking forward to our kids. We don't care if you've surrounded us, because we stand with something more powerful. That power is the fact that we are free men and free women.